From the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery in Nashville, Tennessee, it's Gardening Inside Out, a podcast with highlights from our Saturday morning live show, answering all your gardening questions, giving you plant advice for any space in your life. Let's start the show.
Hey everyone, it's Caroline Gant.
Hey everyone, it's Austin Lowen.
And hey, Tyler Blankenship.
And hey, it's frozen.
Yes.
It is horribly cold today.
Welcome to 2025.
Woo.
You're going to be cold.
Man, this
So
week, it's
here
not
in
getting better either.
7B Nashville, it is cold, but not, what do you say? There's no ice in the pitcher. There's no precip on the ground, but up north of us, snowy, icy, crazy.
And I think some of that's coming, though.
Oh,
What we see Friday, Saturday, I think down here we're supposed to be getting some snow,
We're
which
getting it 12 inches.
we won't get 12.
No, we're not getting 12. We'll probably get
Dramatic.
3.
Yeah.
But 3 would be a ton for us.
That's true.
We usually get half an inch at a time.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know Nashville at all, we usually have one, maybe 2 good snow events a winter, and that's about it. It's about all we get.
This would be one of them.
This would be our first. We did get a little bit of snow the other night that was just kind of
A little dusting.
just spitting.
It was cute. I was driving in it. It was nice.
Yeah, but we've been here at the nursery all day working, and it is awful out there.
Yeah, it's pretty bone-chilling cold out there.
The cold has an edge, and it is sharp.
It's sharp because it's so humid here.
I think
Wet,
so too.
cold.
It's a wet
Yeah.
cold. It's nasty.
The Tennessee cold is different than other colds out there.
I agree.
Then someone like Austin wears like 5 different layers of cotton, and
got to.
it just cuts right through it, though,
Still, yeah.
because
Well,
he doesn't know about windbreakers.
Oh, Tyler, you and your windbreakers.
Tyler's all about wind. I don't have windbreakers, and I'm just fine.
That you don't spend that much time out in the cold, though.
I do when I'm doing pottery, Tyler. I'm actually
Yes,
out
she
there a
does.
lot
She
in the
does.
cold. Thank
the whole
you.
month of February.
Is pottery season, yes. It is. If y'all don't know, all the pottery typically comes from Vietnam. On a big shipping container. We unload it here, and we get like 20, what? We
Tons
get
of
22
pallets.
pallets at a time.
Sometimes like
30?
almost 40,
So and
Yeah.
that's over, 2 different shipments. So we've got our first one, which was, what, about 20-something, whatever.
20 something. Y'all, winter is still exciting here at the nursery. Even though plants are up, we still have some, but they're just, tucked away into little spots.
Caroline, don't lie to these people. Pottery is not fun at all.
We're getting pottery in. It might not be the most fun for us because it's very cold outside and very heavy to unload. But it's exciting for the customers because if you come out here, you get to see all of our new pots that we're getting in.
That is true. That's a good point. Very good point. Sorry, my radio just went off, y'all.
Y'all get
It's
to hear
okay.
behind the
It's
scenes.
okay.
You get to hear what it sounds like to work here.
That's right. Getting back to pottery, though, you know what's a fun game we play? Do you remember from last year?
How many pallets can we do in a day?
Negative. I hate that game. No, the game is if you drop a pot and it
Oh.
breaks, you buy the whole crew cheeseburgers.
You get cheeseburgers for everyone. I don't think I've had to do it. You have.
Yeah, of course. I
John
have.
has. Mac has.
Cheeseburgers all around from when pottery
Knock
breaks.
on wood. I said that, and I'm going to drop the first pot this year.
I hope so. I'm ready for a good cheeseburger.
But it's only for the people working with you that day. So if you miss a day or if you're like, I don't feel like doing pottery for the next 5 minutes, then you're out.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to be there physically.
Love how we're just giving them a little insight on nursery life.
Nursery
And what it's
life,
like.
the one thing about it, there's a lot of things about it, but one thing that I do appreciate is it changes with the season. So there's always something different. You never get bored.
That's true. We have 4 very distinct seasons here in Middle Tennessee for sure. So, and the garden center life is the same.
Yep.
So you're right. It is fun. That's why we do it.
It's different day to day,
It
season to season, year to year.
Oh, hey, y'all,
life to life.
we gotta talk about our event that happened this past weekend.
Are you talking about 3/4 off, 75%, go crazy,
Oh, I was like,
nuts,
what are you
winter
talking
sale?
Yes, it was great. It was the big sale with a bunch of plants in the back.
I got a lot.
Yeah, I actually did too, and I don't go as crazy usually, but
And I actually did 3.
you did, Tyler. You brought a lot of laurels.
Tyler got 20 laurels.
No,
Actually, just
that's-
9.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to do a privacy screen along my back fence.
Okay.
And this was the time to do it.
Well, yeah, with a deal like that. So yeah, we made out like crazy. I mean, I randomly got a ivory silk lilac tree that's been here for like 3 years.
Oh, you're excited about that.
I am excited. That's a pretty little plant. You don't see
should
those
be.
very often. Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that was a lilac tree that you got.
Yeah.
The big tall one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
I also got that one that I could never remember the common name of, Cercidophyllum, not Catalpa, the other one.
I can't
Why do I
help you here.
always forget?
I already
Our
forgot.
listeners are.
Katsura, yeah.
A Katsura tree.
Oh, there was a Katsura back there?
Yes, I got super lucky and
Good
found
for
it.
you.
It was awesome. It's like we had this really big area in the back where we just put all of our leftover plants. And it's like you can walk around 10 different times and 10 different times find something new you didn't see before. So that was fun. So we all got a ton of plants.
I
at our
did
house
get,
now.
and it was one of the last things I found days into the sale, or I guess even after the sale. I was back there today walking around, and there was a bubblegum red bud.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd always wanted one because the blooms are like hot pink instead of that kind of purpley color.
Agreed. I like
And
that
it was
tree.
tucked away back there, and it would have been the first thing that I grabbed. Mm-hmm. There's
But you
always
found it.
little treats
Always treats.
hanging out. hiding.
Tyler, what else you get after Laurel? You got something else? Some other things?
Sweet Bay Magnolia.
That's right. You found that little gem in there.
Yep. Some double take orange quince.
Quince.
Be quiet.
Okay. I was quiet when I said that.
I know it was very subtle, but I heard it. I have headphones on. I was thinking about planting a little cluster of them to kind of make them a little bit more impactful, you know?
Okay. All the same color?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Gotta be. I love quince.
Just plant them in a triangle pretty close together. Look like one big shrub.
That's what I'm thinking.
Ooh. You also got something else that was really exciting.
The Winecraft Gold Smoke Tree.
Nope.
Oh, the Dwarf Columnar Hornbeam.
No.
That's a cool one, though. I got one of
You
those
got
myself.
one too.
Uh-huh.
The Angel Falls White Pine.
Angel Falls White Pine.
How'd
Yep.
you sneak one of those out of there? I didn't know that was in there.
I just spotted it Friday. Yeah.
There was some good stuff.
It really was.
People
Yeah.
listening right now who didn't get to make it out are probably like, oh. So let's change the subject.
Well, just know if you are in the Nashville area sometime around the end of the year, the beginning of the new year, we do like to clean our house, clean the old inventory, things like that. You never know what will be in there. So we cannot predict that, nor will we really tell you what is in there, because the thrill of the hunt is part of the action.
Oh, for sure.
Be
Here.
surprised. And
So-
make sure you subscribe to our newsletter here at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, written by David Bates, the owner. And that's where you will be the first to find out when we are
Literally.
having these sales.
Yes,
We don't let anyone know until that newsletter goes out.
that's right.
It's not even available to us until that newsletter goes out.
Not
ain't
really,
lying.
no.
Yep, she ain't lying.
I'm not. Go to our website, scroll down to the bottom, and subscribe.
Nice. We got to get on some pruning stuff, y'all.
It's that time of year.
It
Well,
is.
Austin, I have down crepe murder video, and we're a dormant oil video because we discussed dormant oil on the broadcast yeah.
That was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I
2
think,
weeks
yeah.
ago. So that's on the ticket.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to do that stuff.
Little
It's time.
Vitex pruning for me.
I need to prune mine. And I got 2 Vitex in the sale that I should probably cut back. I need to plant.
I love being able to see the actual sticks and stems and how they're curving and twisting and whatever, and like opening a plant up and making it just something different. It's so fun to me, especially a Vitex. Chase
Oh, yeah.
tree, y'all, make that a little tree. Like, it's okay to be shrubby, I guess, if you like that, but like, let that be a small tree and it's
Let it be a
money.
little tree.
Yeah. I love doing the crepe myrtle thing with it, where you see the exposed stems and kind of have most of the growth up top.
It's so much better, yeah.
Stunning.
Hey, I added to my little whimsical perennial bed area that I'm trying to make, pretty.
Pretty.
Uh-huh.
It is pretty.
It is pretty. It just needs more.
What'd you
It's-
add?
But I'm cheap, obviously, so this was the perfect
So
sale
you
for
waited
me.
for the sale.
I got some old heirloom mums, y'all, like cool colored peach mums.
You're not going to be disappointed in those.
I'm happy with those. Also, you let me because you
there
had
was
it, and I was
one.
like, oh, what was it? Now I can't even remember.
Stokes Aster.
Yes, the Stokes Aster. It's still up in green right now. It's fine.
It'll stay up like that through the winter.
Yeah.
Mine, I have multiple in the ground, and they stay clean and up through the winter, like healthy.
I like that plant too. What else did I get? Oh, I got a poppy.
You did get a poppy. I'm
Yeah.
excited for you to have a poppy.
I am too.
My
I like the
poppies
little
are
poppy.
up too. I started mine from seed years ago,
Yeah.
and they're so healthy. And this time of year, they're showing, a lot of green color up above everything else. So
The only thing is, it was like a mixed one, so I don't know what color it's going to be.
you'll
What if
probably
the
have all
colors clash?
Oh my! It's
My
probably going to
God.
be multiple colors.
Probably.
It'll either be like orange, kind of a pinkish red, or white.
It'll probably be like
That's the mix you have.
red and yellow or something. That would annoy me. I don't want red or yellow. I mean, I could have one or the other, but I don't
But
want
you
red
can't
and
have
yellow
both.
both together. Okay, so
Were
like,
those
can't
those
wait
poppies
for
that we got
spring.
late and they were blooming?
Probably,
I think so. Yeah.
They were definitely like white, yellow, and red.
Yeah, fun. So,
You're
yeah,
gonna love them.
red, yellow.
Or just throw them on into the woods.
Nah,
They
I
were
like
so
poppies.
cheap. I love my poppies.
I've never grown poppies before. Out of all the years I've done this, I've never grown poppies. I'm like, why? Why would I not do that? They're beautiful.
And they're so easy. You plant them one time and they just keep going.
Uh-huh.
Keep going strong.
Yep. So I'm excited.
That was a very satisfying thing that I did one year.
Yeah.
California poppy, and then I also did a couple from seed, and man, they just gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
You can just stare at them all day.
I tell you what, though, I haven't gotten those little 1 gallon perennials out of the bed of my truck yet, and they are
Just rolling
frozen
around.
solid, rolling around in the bed of the truck. I'm just like, all right, whatever.
Good luck, guys. I mean, my
That's
stuff will
that.
be sitting on my driveway until I plant it.
They're frozen solid. I think that's a big misconception too. A lot of people think when the roots freeze down there in their container, like that, there's no chance that plant's coming back. Like, no, not the case at all. Happens every year.
Yeah,
It freezes down there. It's fine. It'll thaw.
they'll be okay.
It will.
They'll
It's
be
gonna
great. And then we'll all plant them.
That's right.
I'm ready for it to warm up like 10, 15 degrees, and then I will plant all the stuff I have. Or a very small portion of it because I have a lot.
True. I think we all do now.
Yeah, I'm wondering, we usually have a little warm up at the beginning of February, like the first week or two of February. So I'm wondering if that will track this year, because right now we're looking pretty cold through
There's
half
no
of
telling. I never
January.
even try to figure out Tennessee weather.
You can't.
I'm just like, oh, I walked outside. It feels warm. I'm going to do this now.
We get cold blasts, and then we get little relief kind of mild periods, and then cold blasts again.
Yep.
And then that switches to warm blasts and relief and warm blasts. Warm blasts. Sorry, my mic cut off.
It's all good. All right.
No, it's not good, Austin.
It's all good. And so was this week's episode.
It was.
We had our special GM, our special guest, Adam Chapman was on the show filling in for David Bates. So we haven't had him on, and I feel like it's been a couple months.
It's been a little while, yep.
Yeah.
It's nice to have him back.
So he joined us full of good information, very entertaining.
I got to yap a bit more too.
Good. We all need a little more Tyler.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, I think some things I was having trouble keeping up with because I was running the show, and I was like, "Oh yeah, did we mention that?" And you're like, "Yeah, we already did."
Yeah.
But I was having fun participating.
It was
good.
It was a lot of fun. I think we all had a fantastic time. So let's go ahead and get into it. We've got the three of us, Josh Carey, and like I said, Adam Chapman filling in for David Bates.
Stay warm, y'all.
Caroline, do we have questions this morning?
We don't have any.
None? Okay.
None? Okay, let's
we'll
go
just
home.
ramble.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and shut it down.
Okay.
Shut it down. We actually do. We have a question relating to what we just talked about that we're going to do here at the nursery if it does get really cold. But the question is, do I need to cover my new Annabelles for the cold? Bought from you and planted in ground.
Oh, definitely not Annabelles. No.
They'll be all right.
Yeah, deciduous plants are great. Yeah, they lose their leaves, so you don't have to worry about that tender foliage. They just have buds that are going to crack next spring, and we don't really have to protect the buds because they're tight and not opening yet. If for some reason it was earlier spring and we're later into the spring and they were cracking new growth, and then we got growth or temperatures like this, certainly we would want to cover. But right now, nope. Let them Annabelles be. They're going to be fine.
Let them be. I think that is the confusion. People don't know when to cover stuff.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
always about that tender growth.
Most of the time, it's going to be usually in the very, very early spring or it's kind of that transition time between winter and spring. That's when you want to start kind of thinking, okay, what do I need to cover? Is there things that are breaking bud that shouldn't be, or
Exactly.
whatever? So
And that's the most annoying thing about
Yes.
Middle Tennessee is that we have false springs, I guess I would say. I talked to a guest about this yesterday. She lived up in Boston, and up there, their springs don't happen until it's kind of like time to be spring.
May.
Yeah, and we can have a late
Right.
mid to late February
Yeah.
week that's like warm, and
Yeah.
then
Stuff
those
starts
things
to
want
wake
to
up.
crack.
Yep.
And then we have to keep those blankets on standby
Standby,
and
yeah.
ready for whenever a cold night happens, because it's going to happen. But right now, we are good. And by the way, I'm just going to bring this out first,
Okay.
early.
Uh-oh.
We've got a 75% off sale going on right now in the back, okay? A big sale. And I think people are really wanting to scoop up those evergreens, as you should. That's fine. Evergreens are great. But the deciduous plants that are back there, y'all, they look like sticks. They look dead. Let's be honest. They look dead. Nothing is wrong with those plants. You can get some beautiful flowering plants that are deciduous back there for 75% off.
Read the label. Look at the picture on the label. That's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do. You're right. Because, they look like dead sticks.
Yeah.
They do.
They do.
But they are plenty alive. I got a pile going. Caroline's got a pile going. Tyler's got a pile going. I'm sure Adam's got one going. Ryan here, Owen here. All of us have piles that we are taking home with us because they're 75% off.
Tyler did yesterday while we were looking at the sale stuff, and I was filling up my second cart, say to me, you have already broken your New Year's resolution that you said on the show.
You did.
I don't think that one counts, though.
But aren't they just... Don't you just make them just to break them? I mean, I thought that's what resolutions were for.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just to break them.
But your resolution was you're going to stop getting so much.
Stop bringing a lot of plants
Her
home.
eyes are bigger than her stomach. I think that's the quote.
Give a man a couple of examples of what might be back there if he were to walk around after the show.
Oh, there's
Okay.
so much
Just
back
a
there.
random person,
Just
not somebody
anybody that
specific.
comes around
Yeah, okay.
There's some good flowering stuff back there. There's Weigela back there. There's Deutzia back there.
Yeah.
Two
What?
plants that you don't really think of very much, but that are kind of cool for the landscape. You just don't see them all that often. We've got probably a couple hydrangeas left back off in there if you can find them. Some
Abelia.
macrophyllus. Abelia, Tyler. Tyler, you want some Abelia. I done told you. You probably should scoop those.
I don't know about the twist of mango though.
Oh, it's
It's a
flavorful.
pretty name.
It is flavorful.
Ah,
It
Twist
just-
of mango.
It stays yellow throughout the summer,
yeah.
and then it bronzes in the fall. So it's like a really yellowy plant. You know. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
I
You
know.
got some orbs on your camera.
I
or
know
something
that's.
over there.
Oh, look.
I don't know
Wow.
what's going on with
That
the
was great.
lighting here.
Speaking of yellow plants, though, let's go over to Adam because I know this is a big debate. And some people look at plants that are yellow and they're like, that looks sick. That looks dead. I don't like that.
Like
that-
me?
Like you. Yes. Adam's like that. But some people love the golden foliage.
That's true. We have a lot of
See,
golden
Josh?
houseplants too. And some people are like, "Are those sick?" And it's like, no, they're
That's
just
what they're
made
supposed to be.
look that way.
It's fine. I don't necessarily mind them. It's the problem is that a lot of them tend to revert.
They can.
They go they revert back to their genetic parent, which is a green whatever
Something.
it is.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the only annoying part to me.
You're right.
Really. I mean, if you've got them in the right spot, you don't overdo it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But you can overdo that.
Oh, you certainly
yellow.
can.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
use green and then
Yeah,
complement with it in little
exactly.
pops.
I have
here
a lot
and
of
there.
yellow in my front
And a little
landscaping.
goth mixed in
You
there too.
would.
You've got a lot of every
You're
color.
talking my speed right now. I do have some of every color. I've got a goth garden bed and everything. Hey, Emily Boyd. Good morning, Emily.
Emily.
Says, go for it, Caroline. You'll get them in the ground someday. I can relate.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emily.
Maybe there was a little clause or something in your resolution that said unless they're ridiculously discounted.
Yeah. Exactly.
Unless there's a big old sale.
Yeah, you
So
get a little bit of
you're
an excuse.
saying there was an asterisk at the end of her
Yeah.
I'm just.
And we didn't have enough time on the show for
Yeah.
me to really go into all the
into
legality of
the
it.
contract.
It's like
Goes
number
back.
8 on the job description. Other duties as assigned. It's other options as available. Is what,
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
Exactly. I did during our little winter break or Christmas break get my all the plants that were on my driveway that I hadn't planted yet gathered up and put into a new spot.
Oh, you moved them from one spot to another.
I did.
right.
I did. I
Oh.
didn't plant them, but now they look better where
Progress.
Well,
It's
I
progress.
cleaned up my driveway.
it's something.
So
Yep.
now I can fill it with new plants.
Well, I will say one thing I recommend to a lot of people is to take those plants that you have when you buy them from here and take them home and sit them in their spots, in their containers before you ever dig a hole. Make sure you like it.
I did that with my paper bush. And
Yeah.
I did it mostly because I wasn't sure where it needed to be planted. And so I stuck it in a spot that got mostly shade and then a little bit of direct sun in the afternoon. And it hated it. And then I put it in a new spot that was full shade and it loved it. The leaves were bigger. It was happier. So.
And
you
it's still sitting there in the pot, right?
No, that one is planted. That one is in
But
the
then again,
ground.
look at those labels again, and look at that potential mature size.
Oh, yeah, for
when you
sure.
put that little
For sure.
bitty 2-gallon pot right
Yep.
there in the middle of the land, if it's
Yes.
going to grow 15 feet wide, you might
just
not want it.
just because something is marked down and you want it, you got to be like, okay, well, how big is this going to get?
Exactly.
You
Well,
know?
like you just said, Josh, read the label and whatever
There's
it
a
says.
whole lot of stuff. You
then-
don't get a punch on your man card or your girl card for that,
No.
right? No. Reading the directions?
For reading the label.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Just plant it wherever you want.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
Stick it in the ground.
Well, pretty much you can read a label and then add 3 feet, and you're still going to be more accurate than what the tag says.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Yes.
The old classic tag, 3 to 4 by 3 to 4.
Yeah.
More like 6 by 6.
That's
Just
why you
have
want to
your
talk to us when
Full
you come
sun to
out here.
porch shade or dark shade, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I try to tell people when it comes to labels, like they give you like average like sizes for your landscape if you're going to like maintain. Okay, we all have to kind of maintain a little bit. Like if you put a needlepoint holly out there, you can keep one 4 foot and perfect 4 foot hedge if you want. If you never cut it, what?
Oh my gosh,
12,
it's gonna be
15,
huge.
20?
The house that we lived in before this one had needle points on the corners.
Oh.
And they were easily 15 by 15.
Yeah.
They
They're
were
huge.
huge. They were massive.
Really? 15
Yes.
by
Yes.
15?
But no
Yes.
tag would ever tell
Oh
you
my
that.
gosh, that one at my driveway is going to get giant.
Yeah.
It's going to eat my driveway.
Yeah.
I didn't plant that.
That's
but it's
okay.
already starting to like creep over into
Yeah.
it.
That's
coming.
why I dug mine out of the ground.
Good for you, Tyler.
Enough of this.
Yeah, needlepoint holly should not be used on the foundation of your home. Unless
Well, at
you
least
just
it's far
really
away from
want-
my house. It's just the driveway. My husband loves it.
Yeah,
So-
well, hey.
Well,
Holly-
I could see if you had a really tall foundation.
Yeah.
That's just brick or whatever, and you wanted to cover it.
Side of a
pretty
hill
Yeah.
on the side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but that's it.
Yeah.
but
It's just-
That's it.
That's where the needle stops.
Yes, exactly.
we do have some hollies in the sale, I think.
Yeah, you
there's
did
hollies
mention
back there.
evergreens, Austin.
What? Oh, yeah, I did. I said we have evergreens.
did?
I was just saying that, like, when you come back there and look, you're going to see a bunch of dead sticks, but don't think they're dead. They're
not
just
dead.
dormant, okay? They're lying dormant. Speaking
the
of
stick part.
hollies, Pam Eldridge, good morning, Pam.
Good morning, Pam.
You got some hollies yesterday.
And
Some
she-
Christmas jewel holly.
That's a great
We were
holly.
That's a good one. She
And
picked
she
up.
got
that
the Cobra
Cobra
spruce.
She did.
One of my favorite plants in my landscaping that
Another
is in
evergreen.
fact planted in the ground.
Oh,
What else did she get? She got some cool stuff. Pam's
Didn't
just
she get
cool.
the star topiary?
She got the
Oh, the
topiary.
star topiary.
Star Brevite?
Yes, the star brevite. Oh, Tyler.
But this is just showing that there is a lot of cool stuff back there, and we are still very, very stocked. And we will talk about that later when we get to the commercial spot. But let's get to another question that does have to do with what's back there. I bought 2 whipcords and a blue spruce in yesterday's sale. Do I plant them now or wait until the spring?
Now,
Now's the time for those, y'all. We ain't gonna be covering blue spruce and whipcord arborvitae.
No,
they're
they're
sitting
gonna
out
be
on the lot
happy.
getting through that. So yeah, if you're ready to plant, if you feel like doing it, get that coffee and you get out there and do it.
I feel like now is their time to shine.
It is.
Yeah.
Shine-ish.
So shiny.
I mean,
does whipcord ever
bronze.
really shine? I mean,
I know.
I guess
Mine
it's-
died.
Tina?
it's cool looking.
Yours
No.
alive?
no, I have 2. Yes, mine are gorgeous.
Mine died.
Yeah.
Now they're in the basement.
Oh, you brought yours in?
They're up there. They're of course they're in containers, and I
Right.
was
Yeah.
really. They were talking 5 degrees at one point in time, so I just took the time and said, "Bring them in, put the grow lights out, and we'll see what
Yeah,
happens."
there was a time beginning of last week where they were saying, "Oh goodness, it's going to
Yeah, it's
be
Arctic
in the
Clipper, yes.
yeah, single digits."
Yes, so.
That's what Colin said. He was commenting about the teens.
Colin.
Yeah, last week, and we didn't get to answer his question, but I said, well, we're plenty dormant right now, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
good.
thing about the freeze 2 years ago that really has people freaked that was an anomaly, truly an anomaly, because things were it was really dry that fall. Things had not really gone that dormant yet.
It was
either.
65 degrees.
And then it went from 65 to 5 in 7 hours, whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
so, I
wind.
mean, at this point in the year, we've had a pretty good step down in temperature, so things are where they should be dormant wise. Which is so when we get single digits, you should be good. Maybe there's a few exceptions like lorpedilum and other things that you may need. If they're very marginal, you may need to cover or whatever. But right now we're pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
speaking of that, I just noticed a little bit of cold damage on my crossvine that was on top of my trellis.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it might have been from that one night we had in the teens, like in November or early
could have
December
been.
or something.
Yeah. Well, I think we did have. Yeah, it was in November. That was
Yeah.
our first big cold splash.
Yeah, but it
Big
took
event.
it took a long time to show up.
I don't
That
have any
happens
on
a
mine.
lot.
Yeah. And then
My crossvine is a beast.
euonymus. I noticed my neighbor's euonymus, which I always watch it to see how it weathers crazy cold events, and it's got whacked a little bit on the new growth on the top, but I mean it'll recover fine from that. But it completely defoliated in the 22 freeze.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
so
They
many
all
things
did.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what happened this year was a phenomenon that was like we got a little bit warmer later in the season too. So there was some plants that shot a little bit of new growth at a really weird
Yeah.
time.
I just
And
sent
that-
Tyler a picture of one.
They
Yeah.
woke up a little bit.
And that could have been your crossvine too, Tyler. Like it may have sent a few little tiny leaves up top, and then they got whacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still fine. It's crossvine.
Because
It's
mine's
blue.
turning that like deep purple right now that it does in winter.
Yes.
Looking
The lower half of
good.
mine, perfection.
Yep.
perfect plant.
Upper half.
Hey,
we'll
we got a
forgive.
live question in from Joyce.
Live.
Good
Joyce.
morning, Joyce.
Good morning, Joyce.
Good to hear from you. Joyce is asking, what's the best spot to keep a blue or a Atlas cedar until I get HOA approval to get it in the ground? I've got it on a
Ooh.
covered porch by a brick wall.
That's
Ask
a good
for-
spot.
Sorry, I've got it in a corner by a brick wall and porch, so it's not covered.
Okay. And that's fine. You don't have to worry about that plant so much unless we do get down like,
Way down.
what would you say, like 15 or less? You might think about
Yeah.
throwing it in the garage.
Yeah.
You know, but other than that,
or
it's-
shed or something.
yeah, shed or something
Yeah.
like that. But honestly, leave it out. Let it get all that sunlight it can get until you see temps
Yeah,
like
and
that.
you also want it to stay dormant.
Yes.
So you don't want to warm it up. So
And then run for the board of the HOA so you have artistic
Exactly.
approval.
Joyce, you would be great. on
Infiltrate.
that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
there you
And-
go.
Divide and conquer, Joyce.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bunch
in
of
the
hoas.
in the what was it? 20 when was the freeze? 2022?
22,
2020.
yeah.
Yeah, during
December.
that time, I've got a blue Atlas cedar at the house. It lost every single needle. I did a little video on it. Y'all remember that?
Yes, I remember
Every
that.
single needle dropped off that plant, and it looked dead. And I was like, really? It came back, Joyce. It came back. So if something weird happens, it will probably live. But lower than 15, bring it in. If not in the house, in the shed or something. But other than that, leave it out.
Yep.
Blue Atlas.
it on out.
What a good plant. What a pretty plant.
I love that plant. I had
is.
one. Mine did die in 2022, but I had it in a pot. It was not in the ground.
I
so.
saw a weeping blue Atlas cedar at the
Where was it set?
Edinburgh Botanical Gardens,
Mm.
and it was 25 foot wide and
Yeah.
I was going to say.
like 10, 12 foot tall.
I was about to say, yeah,
It
the
was
width
awesome.
on those just
It
gets
was insane.
crazy.
Whoa! I didn't know
Yeah.
they got that wide.
Oh, they're
yeah.
huge.
I mean, if they
If it's old
Over
enough,
time.
that one was probably one of the oldest ones. I would.
how old would
imagine.
you say? What would be your guess?
I would guess it's 50, 60 years old, maybe older.
Okay, so if I
Probably.
plant one now, I can still be alive.
Yep,
to see
you'll see it
get
when you're
that.
100.
Wait, I'm not 50.
might as well go to the Biltmore or something and enjoy it while
yes.
and see it there. Gardening Inside Out is brought to you by Earth Mix Garden Products, creating regionally sourced high-quality soil blends and amendments for the sustainable-minded gardener. Fall and winter are great times to plant in the southeast, and Earth Mix can help you with Landscape Soil Conditioner. Mix landscape with your native soil to feed all winter long. Added mycorrhizal fungi help your plants get established faster and increase hardiness through the year ahead. Visit earthmix.net for more information and retailers near you. Remember, success begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products. Let's talk about evergreens. Something evergreen to grow in a pot.
Whipcord.
Whipcord arborvitae.
That's
Josh
true.
is doing
Yep.
that. Juniper. Why
Yep.
not?
Yews. I love yews in pots.
Yeah.
I love used too.
Use. Use, guys.
Good one.
Boxwood.
Yeah, boxwood's good.
Yeah.
Little more tender than most conifers, but only because it's a broadleaf.
But Austin's favorite,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is.
even
Oh,
though
for
he's got
sure.
some mixed feelings on them.
The whole Isley collection for all intents
Oh,
and
all
those
purposes.
conifers.
Yeah, so I mean,
You know, pines.
Uh-huh.
You might want to stay away from
Japanese maple.
Camacypris for the most part, unless you can bring them in.
Yeah.
You know.
Or cryptomeria. Be careful with that
Yes.
one. Great texture
Yes.
on that plant. Really cool looking plant, but very tender-ish here.
Yeah,
so be
for a
careful with that one.
conifer,
For a
yeah.
conifer, yep. So anyway,
Sounds like there's a lot of options.
No, there
You
is.
could just come out and see us.
we could. Yep.
Come and give us a little visit. All right, I have a Rose of Sharon that got battered by a storm and won't stand up. Do I cut it back?
I mean, yeah, if it's going to be laying down right now, like if it won't stand back up, you need to increase that rigidity of the stem. So typically how you do that is cut the leg out a little bit. If it's long and leggy and it's floppy, then let's take it back to like some chunky wood. You're not going to hurt Rose of Sharon by any means. No. You
No.
can't. You could go burn it. It's probably coming back, like literally. So if you get it back in check, and it will come back sturdy for you. Rose of Sharon, what a good plant. Old school.
Old school.
It's a good one.
There's probably some people out there that don't like it too much
I know.
because it
does reseed.
it proliferates itself quite well.
Yeah. I think they're trying to make new varieties now, or they are making new varieties that don't reseed near as bad as some of those old ones. But you're right, Adam. They do. Yeah, like you see one here, you're going to see one there, and then
And there, and there, and
it
there.
happens.
Yeah, they're everywhere. I have one, and I love it.
I love a Rosa Sharon.
But
They
I'm
bloom
good with
forever.
just one. Yeah.
Yeah, just one's
do.
all you need. Mm-hmm.
Mine's the variegated one, and it's odd because the leaves come out variegated in the spring when it wakes up, and you can see the variegation, and it's really, really cool. But as it draws on into summer, it loses the variegation. They turn solid green, and then the next year when it wakes up, again, variegated, then just turns green.
That happens a lot.
Crazy.
It seems to.
Wild. How about best time of year to thin blackberries?
Right now. I've got to do that myself.
I'm sure you do. If you grow blackberries, you got to thin.
Oh yeah. We had some. The one that we had last year that did so well was Loch Ness.
Oh.
And it got massive. I mean, I've got pictures where it grew into our garden beds and created like this archway on the other side of our garden beds there. It was really cool. And the berries were amazing.
Nice.
So right now I've got to go out there and thin out the canes.
I know. They just get in.
They're easy to identify right now. So
correct.
Yeah.
Did you say if that was a named cultivar or if that was just wild?
No, Loch Ness is the name.
Oh,
of it.
Loch Ness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it lives up to its name. I can
it's
tell
a
you that.
monster, huh?
It is a monster.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Good
Loch
old
Ness.
blackberry.
Never heard of that one.
I haven't heard of that one either, and I kind of want it just for the name, but I have
was
too
about to
many
say.
wild blackberries that I
We
don't get
we only had it like maybe 1 or 2 years, a few years ago, and we picked one up because we've been to Loch Ness.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's really cool. All right, where are my questions?
You know, I'm
go
excited
fishing?
about something.
What are you excited about?
I'm excited about something.
What's
Tyler did something for me yesterday, and he didn't let me hear it. Oh, I said I
Is
didn't
this
want
the
to hear it.
first time you're hearing
This is
it?
the first time we're going to hear the jingle for my new segment, and I'm super stoked about it because Tyler's the best at making jingles.
we
So,
go.
without further ado,
Like I said, the goat.
yes, there it is. Like I said, the GOAT. Okay, this is a story as old as time. All right, it's the American boxwood.
Oh.
It's like the American boxwood's not the GOAT. The American boxwood is like he's like the bull in the arena. He's big, blocky, strong, a little bit slow. And then he found the Korean boxwood, which is like a horse, a little bit faster, sleek, quick. Well, they got fond of each other, and they made a goat.
green
A bull and a horse made a goat, and it became green velvet boxwood. People, it's the American boxwood, it's the Korean boxwood. They came together, made a goat, green velvet boxwood. My favorite boxwood on the planet.
It's a good one.
It's the best. I got it at my house. And why do we grow boxwood? It's great space filler. It's slow. It's low maintenance. It fills a bed and it just keeps green. And green velvet is by far my favorite. Okay, it grows a little bit actually more wide than tall as it ages. So like mine is literally a little bit wider than it is tall. And they're just money right now. Okay, now with all boxwoods, some are less bronzy than others over the wintertime. But let's talk about this. Boxwood in more sun typically will go more bronze over the wintertime, okay? You have more shade with a boxwood. You get less bronze over the winter, but you also get less tight leaves, which is not always a bad thing, okay? Boxwood in full sun creates an enormous amount of leaves, like crazy, and they're really packed on top of each other. So what does this lead to? Sometimes potential pathogens and potential bugs. There are bugs that really like boxwood, okay? So if you've got that shadier environment and you still want to grow boxwood, you certainly can. It's just not going to be as tight, but it ends up being a little bit more healthy, it seems, as it ages, okay? So there we go. That is the goat of my boxwoods. Caroline brought in all boxwood in today. She's going to talk about that soon, but she did that, and I was like, you know what? We got to talk about the goat when it comes to boxwood. Now, there's many of options. 20 to 30 cultivars of boxwoods that we sell alone. I mean, easy. So you can pick whatever you want. But if you do want the goat, go green velvet. It's the goat.
It is the goat. I
Like I said.
love mine.
Yeah, you almost
great.
can't go wrong with that variety.
Can't.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny though? Let's talk about this, okay? So American boxwood gets huge, absolutely huge. I've seen 8 to 12 footers, not even joking, if left unpruned. Korean boxwood, this is like your winter gem, winter green. Those are going to be like your Japanese or Korean style boxwoods. They get large too. But then they hybridized together. They did this in Canada, I believe. They hybridized those two. And then they came out with green velvet. But green velvet seems to stay tidier It doesn't seem to get as big. It's like wider than tall, maybe 4 feet tall as it ages. But why would those two vigorous, big growing plants produce something that stays a little bit smaller? I can't really.
Wild. It's crazy.
I thought about it all last night. I had my new
And your
notebook.
dear diary. Look at that notebook.
Look, Marley, my 6-year-old gave me this notebook for Christmas, and I keep it in my pocket. And I was writing all in it last night. And
Your
I
diary,
I
plant
have no
diary.
good reason why that cultivar would stay small like that, but it does. And it's
the Diary of Green Velvet Boxwood.
there you go.
I
I've got
can't
all
wait
sorts
until
of
you
notes.
publish this diary.
It's coming out soon, spring 2027. Got a lot
Already
of
got a
writing to do.
publisher deal lined up.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that one.
Tyler, get those people on the phone after the show.
They'll
Yeah, after the
call
show.
us
We need
Oh,
you
yeah,
for
they
all
are.
your tech stuff.
Ingram Lightning Source. We can probably hook you
Yes,
up.
yes.
Okay, buddy? All right.
All right, there you
we're-
go.
That was perfect.
Tyler, thanks for my jingle, man.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you worked.
said, the goat.
Yeah.
The jingle
I will
master.
say, yesterday I had to come in here to grab something
Oh,
really
no.
fast, and when I walked in, he was in the middle of recording that, and like Mariah Carey, he was holding his headphones and he was singing.
at him.
It was one of his highest recordings where he was trying to.
I was like I said, I was trying to do a harmony.
and it was great. I love Tyler's jingles. He does a great job. But we are getting
Yep.
some live questions in, so let's go ahead and
Let's
get to
go.
some of them. We have a question from Laurel. Laurel
Laurel.
is asking Caroline, tips for repotting a gorgeous beefsteak begonia. I propagated it from my mother-in-law's plant, which is over 57 years old.
Hey.
That's amazing. I have a beefsteak begonia that I actually got from a cutting. It was about 2.5 years ago, and it's really easy to propagate. And now I've had it in the same pot since I grew it in water, let the roots establish. Then I transplanted it into earth mix indoor. I find for my begonias, that's really the best thing. It has the coconut core that's going to retain enough moisture for them, but it's not going to stay too wet. Like peat moss with them just holds too much moisture, and they tend to rot if they stay too wet. But they also don't like to stay really dry. So, I mean, the Earth Mix Proganics Eye really is the best. And then I'm probably not going to repot mine for another 2 years or so. I'm just going to leave it in that pot, let it keep growing. It likes really bright indirect light, not a lot of direct sunlight. But that is a really cool begonia. And a lot of those are really, really hard to find. The one I have, I've never seen for sale anywhere.
Wow.
I should bring a picture of that one in because that
Should.
one is one of my favorite house plants.
That's why it's so cool for people to swap plants and give cuttings because so someone can have a plant for 57 years and then you can't
And then
find
you get
it
a little
now.
cutting from it.
You get a cutting and you've got it
Yeah.
forever. And begonias are funny about that. Like they're so herbaceous around their stem that if you keep it too wet on top, they
rot like so quickly. So make sure it's got good drainage in the pot, that it's not sitting in water. But I did pot mine. I mean, the stalk of mine was like about that big, like the size of what? A quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah, the width of a quarter or so. And I had it in a 5.5-inch pot. So I did pot it up in size pretty quickly. Like I didn't keep it in a small pot, but I'm allowing it to grow into that. They like room to breathe. So that one's going to be great. Send us a picture of that. I want to see that.
Wow.
Yeah,
that
Laurel.
plant. Yes, Laurel. Good
Send
morning,
pictures.
Laurel.
Good
Send
morning, Laurel.
photos. And then we've got another question in from Joyce. Joyce says, I planted a summer snowflake viburnum that was nothing but twigs on Tuesday. This is more of a comment. It's a scary thing buying plants like that, but I'm hopeful for the spring. It'll wake up, Joyce.
It
all
is.
good.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell y'all earlier. It is scary to buy plants that are just sticks, okay? But look along those sticks and find those buds that are active. I mean, you can just see.
Yeah.
You can tell sometimes when plants are dead. You go up to them and they literally have no buds on the stems and you can just snap them off.
Yeah, that's
You walk up to a plant, and you can that's alive. It'll just
Bend.
bend right down and won't break. I mean, those are plenty alive, ready to go.
And I've gone through like all of those plants. You know me, I'm obsessed with plants and I'm going to buy all the plants I can. And I mean, it's not like we just took all the bad looking plants and stuck them out there. Those plants that we were like, this might not stand a chance, those are gone. And a lot of them, when I was talking to Bridget, because we've even got perennials back there, she's like, well, it's just the single ones that were left. There's nothing wrong with them, but it's just one that's going to sit there in the spring when we get the new shipment in, everything just looks more perfect. Those are going to go and this is just going to sit here.
Well, you got to know that we obviously trust in the plants that we're selling back there because if you buy them at 75% off, we will still warranty them for a year for the price that you paid for them. So that's us saying these plants are fine, y'all. They just need to be planted. They just, I told a story before we started on the show about Pam Eldridge yesterday, who told me that we used to have a sale here that we called the buck a gallon sale.
That
and
sale
people
was
loved it.
wild.
Oh, yeah. A 1 gallon plant costs you $1. Really? I mean, that's amazing. Even if you lose $1, who cares if that plant dies, if it has the chance to live. Well, Pam said that she landscaped most of her whole landscape with the buck a gallon plants. Like, how smart are you, Pam?
Pam is a genius. And
You're a
I love her.
genius.
Yes, she is.
And you brought us seeds.
Yeah.
Oh, she
Pam
brought us
did
seeds.
bring us seeds, yes.
You know what she did though? She created a competition, and I think she knows what she's doing.
Let's get to some more questions, though, because we do have a lot.
Okay.
When
Let's
should
do
I
it.
start tilling and preparing my ground for gardening?
What are you doing today?
I say when.
Yeah, when?
Yeah.
Yep, 3:30.
Do it now. I was out
Dark
tilling
a
up
little
stuff
early. I probably
last
wait a
week.
But yeah, what are you doing today? It's going to rain good tomorrow?
You know what you could do is get it all worked up, get a soil sample, send it to Ellington, and see
There you
what
go.
your maybe that could be a fun little
Oh, look at
project
you,
to
Mr.
do.
Scientist. Yes.
Yeah. No, I didn't say send it to me. Send it to the Ellington Ag Center. They will get you an analysis on what you need for your soil. And now that you can kind of turn it, give them a good sample of a couple different spots in the garden, a few different spots really. And then they'll come back and tell you how much lime you need, how much nitrogen you need, and you get that going already. And then you're already a step ahead.
And I think
And
they
it's
charge
free.
you so much for that service.
It's free.
I thought so. Okay. Yeah.
I think it is, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
think it
Yeah,
is.
or at least it
Used to
was
be.
free.
Yeah.
Unless I'm sure it did not change.
Yeah, you can't beat it. So let's start that now. You might have to do it again. Let's be honest. I mean, you do it now, get your soil samples and all that, lay your lime, lay your nitrogen, all the whatever you got to do. And then right before you plant again, you can turn it again to loosen it up for you. Mix it all together.
And then put some supernatural on top. Just
Yeah,
for
That's
that.
right.
what I'm saying.
That, and then plant them plants, man.
And then get them plants in the ground.
time.
We're all going to be planting so much. All right.
Hey, I'd just like to give
small-
a quick shout out to our Twitch followers. I've noticed we've gotten some. We have been on Twitch for the past couple of months. We're
Yes.
just slowly growing there, but just want to say hello
Hello,
and
Twitch
thanks
people.
for joining Gardening Inside Out.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And how does I'm not on the Twitch.
Not on the Twitch.
I'm not on the Twitch.
it's
How
something-
does
it's
one
some-
share? How do you?
Something the kids do nowadays.
Well, you just go to the Twitch, the main Twitch website, which is twitch.tv, and
Okay.
you search in the search box at the top. It's kind of overwhelming when you see the homepage. There's lots of videos going and different things happening. Ignore all that.
Okay.
Go to the search box and type in Gardening Inside Out, and our page will pop up.
Okay.
And we're under the Just Chatting category.
JC.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
So,
Think about it.
yep, I
Okay.
still have the question up over my face. Well, that's embarrassing.
There you go. But the orbs
Okay.
are gone, so
The orbs are gone.
the
thankfully.
orbs have disappeared. All right, my small eastern redbud has a fork with 2 large branches. Do I choose one and prune the other?
I'm leaving it alone.
That's just like you said. That's totally aesthetic.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you hate it? Are you okay with it? I mean, it's not going to hurt the plant either
No,
way.
no.
No. So if you like a single stem main leader system, you can certainly try that. Redbuds aren't known to do
No.
that though.
No.
Like they
I've got
fork
one.
pretty young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got one. We got one straight one, one forked gnarly guy out there.
I have them pop up all over, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
let some of them grow. Yeah, and they do kind of.
If you have a red
Yeah.
bud, you're going to have babies.
You are going
Trust
to have
me.
lots of babies. Yes.
And it's great. They're
Oh,
a great
they
tree.
are.
Yeah. I let a baby grow, but now it's growing into my driveway, and I gotta cut that one down.
I got a buddy
shouldn't have
actually.
let
His
it go.
name's Willie. Shout out Will.
Will.
Hope you're doing well. He
Willie
had a
Will.
seedling pop up in his little vegetable raised bed area, and it's like from seed this year. It's like 6 foot
Did he?
tall now.
Yeah,
Wow.
they
And
get.
he let it go, but it did not fork young. It still
No.
has a main stem. But he was like, "Man, I want it. I don't want it that like leggy." I was like, "Well, just cut the head out of it." So he did. He cut the tip out, and we're going to see some nice branching. Hopefully, a little bit lower next spring.
Now, is it in his raised bed?
Gets close to it.
Yeah.
He loves it. He's
Yeah.
keeping it.
I
He's
mean,
like,
I
"Nah,
would.
don't care."
You know me. I would just be like, I'm
Everyone
gonna let it
should have
go.
an eastern red bud in their yard.
They should. Where would you get one?
Everyone probably does,
I-
and will if they just leave things alone.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You'll
nature
get one
be.
eventually.
Okay. But that is the surest sign of spring that
Oh yeah.
there is on
yeah.
the
Oh,
planet.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, for
And
Middle
their
Tennessee.
blooms taste really good.
Oh,
yeah.
gorgeous. Bees love them. I mean, the whole backyard vibrates when they're
When
in
they
full
start
bloom.
blooming, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's true.
Additional support for Gardening Inside Out is brought to you by Bates Nursery and Garden Center, a third-generation nursery located in Nashville, Tennessee, and 20-time recipient for Nashville's Best Garden Center, offering the widest selection of new arrivals for fall, like specimen conifers, Japanese maples, and pansies in nearly every color. Open year-round, minutes from the heart of Nashville in beautiful Whites Creek, Tennessee. Browse their selection online anytime at batesnursery.com. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, beautifying Nashville since 1932.
I've got that predicament at the house right now.
What do you have? Oh,
I've got
my
a
gosh.
philodendron. I've got that philodendron. Which one do I have? It's that one.
You have a
that-
pink princess. You have a gloriosum.
The gloriosum. That's the one. It's outgrowing its pot.
Oh, those get really
It's
big.
bad.
Oh my! It's not in a huge pot.
It's in a tiny pot. It was gifted to me by a couple customers, some regulars of ours that love us, and they
Lesson
came out.
Hunter,
and I
shout
love
out to
them.
them.
Yes,
Yeah,
great
they're
people.
great.
They brought me that, and I've had it for a while now. But y'all, way too big. The pot.
It's this big. That's what you
Easy.
just did.
It's bigger than that. Yeah, it's like a rope.
Wow.
Of big giant leaves. It's fantastic. It
It's a
loves
really cool philodendron.
It is, but it's about to tippy out of its potty. What time did I say that? It's about to tip out of its pot, and I got to repot it. I got to get it up.
Are you
this
mad
way.
about that?
It's gonna be a whole thing.
You got to stake it up. It's not going
I'm
to be
gonna
that
bring it
hard.
in.
Moss
Get you
pole.
some earth mix
I am.
indoor. Mix it with some orchid soil. That's what I do.
That one stays wet all the time. It does not have a drainage hole, and I keep it wet.
Yeah.
It loves it.
I
It
think
loves
that's
it.
what he brought it to you in.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
the
in
same.
soil, though, is it?
Yeah, it's soil.
It is?
Yeah. It's a mix though. There's a lot of rocks and stuff in there.
Yeah.
too. But I keep it wet all the time. But yeah, I got to repot it. I'm gonna
do
bring
it.
it in here. We'll shoot a video
There you go.
of me trying to get that thing up because
you-
it's wonky.
I know. If you don't stake philodendron, which you don't have to, they will start vining in a way. I mean, they get huge, they get heavy, they'll tip, they'll
Yeah,
go towards
cool.
the light, and they just start getting twisty curvy. I love them. Let's get to some more questions
Let's
because
do
we
it.
Hey,
love
quickly
those
though,
too.
Caroline, Jane has commented on YouTube that Ellington costs $15.
Yeah, I
per
thought there was
Oh.
a slight fee.
Yeah,
A
well,
slight
That's
fee.
not bad though.
No, for what?
No, it's not bad.
But still, it's not free.
It's good information to have. For,
Thank you,
for
Jen.
$15.
Yeah, thank you because I did not know that.
Because it
Nothing's
was
free
free
anymore.
for years.
I know.
Yeah,
and years and
then I
years.
think it was 10, and now it's 15. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Great. You're not going to send off a soil sample, so this doesn't affect you.
No, Austin licks his finger and sticks it in the dirt, and he's like,
He's like,
yeah.
good to go.
That'll work.
Or it doesn't need nothing because it's perfect where he lives.
You do have good soil where you are because you're down low,
In a
So
bottom
It's
land.
kind of untouched. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old pasture, whatever.
kind of untouched.
It's good.
Yeah. My property was a cow. They did something with weird cow stuff originally. So,
They raise cattle.
I hope that's what they were doing.
but it was like a certain kind of like people out where I live are like, oh, yeah, I know that property. That's the old thing where they used to do this stuff. So I think my soil is great because of that. But, anyways, let's get to some questions. We get a lot of bulb questions this time of year.
Okay.
So someone is asking any bulb planting tips. Finally going to try and plant them this weekend. I would say your tip is to plant them. Get
Yes.
them in the ground now.
Yeah, I mean, flat side down.
Yeah, that's the
I
good
mean,
one.
well, I
20
will
side
give you a
up, yeah.
tip. If you like, bulbs can be tricky sometimes. Okay, there's some bulbs that are easy. You can easily tell what's the bottom and what's the top. But if you get bulbs that you can't really tell and you're unsure about it, lay them in sideways.
Yep.
Pro tip.
Oh, there
it
you
doesn't
go.
matter. They
They're
will
gonna
find a
go
way
up.
up, and the roots will find a way down. Okay, if you're unsure.
The roots aren't going to come out of the top and the flowers.
No, that's
below
not how it
the
works,
soil?
Caroline. That's not how it
Oh.
works. I know the what's the barefoot gardener. I was watching a video of him one time out in where's he Murfreesboro area ish or something out there,
Lebanon?
and he just digs a big trench with his onions specifically, big long trench. And he just threw them in there, like did not set it. Like me, I'm somewhat meticulous. I'm like setting them in perfectly upright.
And you're also measuring to make sure they're going to come up evenly.
yeah,
Absolutely.
all of that, and
I
all
don't
he
do
did
that.
was just had handfuls and just threw them in the trench and covered them up.
That's my
They're
kind of
gonna
gardening.
find a way up, but yeah, like Caroline said, get them planted. I mean, it's time. You're gonna run out of time to even find bulbs anymore. So
We don't really have many right now.
no, and they're on big time sale too. I think.
50% off.
50%
We have
off what we
some
have
bearded
left.
iris left.
Hey, our state flower.
Wow.
Yep.
Get you some.
Few different
All right, and our other bulb question, can I plant gladiator allium bulbs now? I have a few more bulbs that I didn't get planted. I would say if you have some left,
Sure.
do it.
You
Yeah.
better do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we need those to come. That's a perennial. We need those to come up in the spring and give you those big, awesome, beautiful blooms that one does. What a cool plant. I love ornamental onions. Love them. Yeah,
Love
I love them.
You have a whole line of them. You've got the Millennium, right? That's the one you grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you can't just throw them in a trench, Austin, because you're too fancy and you have, they're ornamental.
Can't do it
Those
at my
are.
house either.
No.
Got to be orderly.
Got to be orderly.
The project manager keeps it that way. I promise you that.
Hey, I get it.
I like a good scatter of stuff. Just
Depends on what
Random.
it is. Yeah.
It would drive her insane.
If you
Me too.
you guys should watch Caroline's wildflower gardening webinar, by the way. It's great winter watching material. But you can see an example of her beds and how eclectic they are, but fun also at the same time.
Cool.
Yeah.
And over the years, which is so cool to see.
I think I show one from year 1 to year 3.
Yeah, that's it.
Now it's a little bit wild because I did plant a yucca in it. Kind of
course it
regretted
is.
that. Feel like I'll never get rid of it. I mean, I could if I really tried, but it's fine. I don't need to try that hard. But let's try to get to another question.
Let's do
When
it.
should I trim my bougainvillea? I mean, if you're
Hey.
here,
You don't have to worry about it. It's frozen to the ground.
it's frozen to the ground, or it's inside your house and you can go ahead and cut
Oh,
it back.
okay.
Now, if you're
Right.
somewhere where it stays out all year and it grows, I mean, winter, I would say, would be the best time to prune that back.
And you need leather
Yeah.
welding
Yeah,
gloves.
those
yeah.
do have big thorns on
Yeah,
them.
get some welding.
Absolutely gorgeous. Though.
Yeah, gloves and all that.
Caroline, do you see Jan's question there?
I did not.
It's the live one on
Is it on Facebook?
Facebook on the Gardening Inside.
Do you want to
Out.
read it to us?
Jan is asking, they are predicting ice storm followed by extreme cold. We live in Princeton, Kentucky. Anything I can do
I
to
love
protect
Princeton,
my...
Kentucky.
I do too. It's a cool town. Newly planted dogwoods is what they want to protect.
Well, not really. I mean, you probably will likely get more winter like
Absolutely.
precip than we will for sure. Because from what I've seen, the line is the Kentucky-Tennessee state line. As far as like frozen precip and all that. So, I mean, as long as it's not a heavy coating of ice,
Yeah.
it should be fine.
Yeah, I don't know what else you could really do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really?
we kind of just grin and bear that, you know.
Because if you run the risk, if you put a tarp over the top
Yeah,
of it, the ice would
yes.
come down.
That's
your
almost
parade.
worse
So
in a
it's-
way.
It is worse.
Yes.
For sure. I mean, y'all have seen this as much as I have. We've seen plenty of deciduous trees fully coated with ice, all up and
Gorgeous.
down their stems, and they're totally suited for that. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
they can deal with that.
They'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It's
They'll
a
be
dogwood.
alright.
They're native in Kentucky. They're great.
Thank you, Jan.
The
Yeah,
ice
Jan,
might
they'll be okay.
might cause them to lean a little bit, right?
It
You know,
might.
maybe when
yeah,
they
it-
first freeze,
Just depends on how much ice there is.
and then when they thaw, you can straighten them back up.
Yep.
That's right.
Because the ground will be nice and moist. That's for sure.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after the inch of rain tomorrow.
Yeah.
But they're saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
0.15.
Oh, fingers crossed we don't get ice or snow. 'cause
Absolutely.
I don't want any of that.
Same.
But Joyce does have a comment.
Hey, Joyce, again.
Hello again, Joyce. Joyce says, I was surprised to watch an old video when Tyler has shoulder length hair. When
That's
I
right.
met Tyler, he had, I think it was past your shoulders when I met you.
Yeah, it was down my back.
Tyler's got beautiful hair.
Yeah,
Tyler has
Did.
stunning hair.
I'm jealous.
well,
I think
I'm
you
not
should grow it
anymore.
out.
I mean, yeah, it's shorter. You've cut it.
I
But if
looked
you
at
wanted
photos of
to-
my hair last night.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was just like, wow. Remember when I had long hair? It's only been like 2 years now.
I actually have a slow-mo video of you doing a hair flip here at the nursery in the rain.
One of
good.
our first moments.
We'll find that and we'll bring it up for the show next week. I
yeah,
think
it'll
we
be
need to-
lovely. I'm sure you'll love that.
There you go, Joyce.
It'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I actually did a winter garden prep webinar. I think.
Cool.
So if you want to watch my long hair and you get to get some tips from me, where I kind of bumble through a list of things you might want to be doing for the winter, go check it out at the Bates Nursery YouTube.
All right, our final question of the morning. When's the best time to harvest my winter lettuce and other winter vegetables?
Yeah, whenever you're hungry.
Yeah, whenever they look good.
Taller
Pretty
than
much,
2
yeah.
inches.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's lettuce. It's leafy. It's like any other greens. Like you harvesting leaves. So anytime you got big enough leaves to harvest and you can make a salad out of it, then go out and do it,
Would you say lower leaves first? And
Lower
then the
leaves
inner
first, yeah, get
leaves,
the-
that's the newer.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of want to get the biggest of the leaves, I would say. Give you a bigger salad or whatever. But it's, I mean, you can harvest
They
now.
can tend to be a little bit bitter when they're bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's,
Yes, and as we draw into like if we were to grow them in the early spring up into the summer, like they would want to bolt and they'll throw flowers, and then they get really bitter.
Yeah,
so
they're
you
not
want to
good.
harvest before then. But like if you still got lettuce going on now, which is certainly good,
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Get it.
go out and eat you that lettuce.
Go out and get you some. I've got some mixed greens growing right now.
Yeah, kale, collards, mustards,
All different kinds.
all those.
All those.
They doing good.
Yeah,
Growing a
they're
pig
doing
to put
good.
in there.
Growing a what?
Growing some pigs to get some renderings off. Put
What
it
are
in
you
the
talking
greens.
about?
Uh-huh.
He's talking about the.
He's talking to tender your greens.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do love me
gotcha.
some greens.
I do too.
Oh, hot water cornbread. Oh, my goodness, it sounds good.
Can't
on a
beat
cold.
it.
No, you
Sounds
can't.
great on a cold winter's day here. But next Saturday, it's going to be cold again, most likely.
Yes, and could be some snow on the ground
Could be.
Saturday morning.
But regardless, we're going to come here and we're going to do another Gardening Inside Out. We want to thank you for participating today in the very first 2025 show.
Indeed.
Oh.
Was a
Oh
good-
yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy
Good.
New Year,
Happy New
everybody.
Happy New Year to everybody. Hey, be safe out there. We want to thank you again for watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Hey, Twitch, we like you guys too. Share the word and let us know what you need, because we'll take questions at gardeninginsideout@gmail.com all through the week. That's the best way to send a picture in. Hey, come out to the nursery today. 75% off certain items here, and it's only today. That's the last time you're going to be able to get it. We'll see you next Saturday morning right here from the Green Room Studios at Bates Nursery and Garden Center.
Thank you for tuning into the Gardening Inside Out podcast. If you're looking for more information or more from your hosts, don't forget that we have a live Saturday morning broadcast, 8 a.m. Central Time, on YouTube and Facebook. You can also follow us on our Instagram channel. That's @Gardening Inside Out for more posts, reels, and in-depth dives to topics and things we've discussed on the show. If our content resonates with you, consider giving us a follow, like, and subscription on all of our social media pages. See you next time.